I'm Tim Keane from the Kohler Center for Entrepreneurship at Marquette. I'm sorry I'm not able to be with you in person today, but I hope this brief video introduction to our entrepreneurial programs can be a discussion starter. My colleague, Dr. Peg Bernhardt, our Director of Outreach, with whom I work closely, is here today to discuss our programs with you, answer your questions, and provide more information. We are both glad to share our program concepts as well as our lessons learned with you. Please be sure and ask for more information. Our entrepreneurship efforts at Marquette go back a long way. More than 20 years ago, in 1986, the Coleman Foundation endowed a chair in entrepreneurship at Marquette. It's been held since 2000 by my colleague Alex Stewart. He's been responsible for the development of the undergraduate major in entrepreneurship, the original vision for the graduate programs, and for advocating for the development of our Angel Network, among many other programs. We were fortunate almost 10 years ago to receive a major gift from the Kohler Company to establish the Kohler Center for Entrepreneurship in the College of Business Administration. Today, it coordinates and teaches some of the entrepreneurship programs on campus, houses the business plan competition, coordinates the work of the task force, more on that in a minute, and provides support for the Marquette Angel Network. The idea of that Angel Network grew from a vision of connecting entrepreneurs with alumni, students, and friends of the university to enhance the experiences of each group. It was really a way to combine alumni outreach activities with both classroom education and connections for faculty and tech transfer and research and other things, as well as with students. That network, the Golden Angels, began in late 2002 with the help of the late Hans Severns, legendary founder of the Band of Angels in Silicon Valley. You know, one of the things I've learned over and over at Marquette is how generous people are when you ask them for help. Hans was certainly one of those. He came to Milwaukee and spent a week talking to a lot of audiences about the Angel experience and coaching all of us involved in its startup. From those early meetings, we gathered people together and the Angel Network began. Today, in addition to the network, we have an evolving ecosystem of programs and activities that includes an undergraduate major of more than 100 enrolled students, a graduate certificate program in entrepreneurship that can include graduate courses in specific fields of study, such as engineering or life sciences, in addition to a core offering of entrepreneurship coursework, 4 applied learning centers in entrepreneurship, real estate, supply chain management, and applied investment management, all skills essential for entrepreneurs in a variety of fields. A growing group of faculty engaged in commercialization projects, a business plan competition now in its 7th year, new entrepreneurship programs in science and engineering, a visiting entrepreneurs program to bring entrepreneurs to campus to meet faculty, students, and alumni and exchange ideas, an active student entrepreneurship organization, a master's forum held annually to highlight the insights of master entrepreneurs for a wide audience of community members, as well as students, faculty, and alumni, faculty commercialization programs to assist researchers with knowledge of technology transfer and new venture creation, an Office of Research and sponsored programs headed by an experienced commercialization professional, Kees Osterhaag, recently from Rutgers. I'd like to describe each of these a bit more fully in a moment, but first, let me make a few remarks about our most recent undertaking, an ambitious program to make entrepreneurial skills and experiences available to all of our students, graduate and undergraduate, as well as our faculty. This effort, which we call Cross-Campus Entrepreneurship, began in 2007. The university had convened small groups to think about our direction as an institution across a variety of dimensions. These discussions crystallized the idea that entrepreneurial skills would support one of the university's guiding principles, the idea of doing more for others to improve the world. We think exposure to entrepreneurial skills, innovation, bootstrapping, unrelenting resource management, and operational excellence, among others, are one more way to equip Marquette students to be able to effectively do more to improve their communities. In addition, the idea of making a real difference in the world by applying entrepreneurial skills in social enterprises, call it social entrepreneurship, resonates in these philosophical underpinnings. So starting with this premise, the university formed a task force of 13 faculty members from every college with the mission to recommend concrete, specific ways to bring entrepreneurial learning opportunities to students and faculty. In her remarks appointing the task force at the time, our then Provost Madeline Wake said, "We see students for 4 years, but the real question is, what will the next 50 to 75 years of their lives be like? They'll go through many careers and there will be a great demand for entrepreneurial thinking. Our challenge is building the capacity for leadership so that our graduates will be able to change the world for the better." The group met frequently, formulated goals, and began to map best practices. They traveled to many universities engaged in cross-campus entrepreneurship programs, primarily selected from the first round of Kauffman campuses. Those schools included the University of Illinois, Texas El Paso, ASU, Syracuse, Washington University in St. Louis, MIT, UNC, Georgetown, and Wake Forest. At the end of the 2007 academic year, the group produced a report that was subsequently accepted by the university and which has become the basis for our growing programs in the Kohler Center. It focused on a couple of core recommendations. The group felt strongly that this new program needed to be, first, supportive of colleges and faculty. They found many entrepreneurial champions on the Marquette campus and felt that this initiative would provide a way to connect them and their interests to each other, and that by providing significant support built on trust, collaboration, and a common set of goals, the initiative would be long-lasting and more effective. And second, action-oriented. Cross-campus success, we think, can best be accomplished by implementing rather than planning for change. We expected that this implementation would be progressive, building upon each success as it grows in sustainability, and involving a broad constituency of stakeholders to support these efforts. Each of these successes must be collaborative and built upon growing levels of trust. A program of the scope we envisioned has striking similarities to founding a new venture. Leaders must evaluate the market, identify team members in various colleges, pursue sustainable financial resources, implement a strategy, and make adjustments when necessary. So what does that mean in practical terms? In my view, it means that the way to grow new sustainable activities is to seed several, feed the ones that take root, and find ways to seed more. Our entrepreneurial ecosystem at Marquette is actually not organized. New ideas grow organically. If they're useful, then they'll last and grow and people will make them work. And if they're not, they wither and something new takes their place. It's a bit random and sometimes chaotic, but it causes a lot to happen working from a relatively small set of resources, and it involves lots of people. So the opportunity for success to have many parents is bigger, and you get more owners more quickly. So far, I'm happy to report it's working. One example of that is our recent faculty workshop on commercialization. We convened a group of successful university entrepreneurs from around the country, some angels, and some venture capital investors in a day-long series of panel discussions around their case histories. They included faculty from LSU, Wisconsin, and Stanford. We had more than 50 Marquette faculty in attendance, and we podcast all of the talks to reach a broader audience. We are big believers in on-demand learning delivery, by the way. When the entrepreneur wants information, it's the right time to deliver it. So we are using a variety of asynchronous tools from YouTube to podcasts to expand our ability to deliver wherever, whenever. Now, following that symposium, independent of further effort on the part of the center, the faculty and technology transfer people from several institutions are collaborating to see how they take individual research opportunities to new levels. They're leveraging this event to go in new and exciting directions. It's sort of the Johnny Appleseed principle. It demonstrates how some resources can be leveraged to make many more things happen to enable the nascent interests of people.
I'm a scientist, I'm a technology guy, and I love developing new technology. But for me, it doesn't have much meaning unless you see that technology going out into the world and being used. So that's what excites me about being an entrepreneur. So previously I'd been in biotech. I started a company before. I was sort of the junior guy. I participated in helping to write the business plan, but I didn't know how to actually do it. So I was sort of watching it on the sidelines. But now with this competition, I actually was writing it along with my partner Benham. And what drives me is just seeing the technology that I'm part of working on developing being used in the world. And so the ultimate test of whether something is useful in the world is whether somebody's willing to pay for it.
The faculty interest cannot help but spill over into many discussions in labs and classrooms with students who will themselves be energized and will explore the idea of entrepreneurship in their own studies. Another example is our business plan competition. We now think of this as a way to help build entrepreneurial connections and expertise. Entrants are Marquette students, faculty, and alumni.
What was really interesting in the business plan competition is that we can have our design, but actually see it fleshed out in terms of the business world, like how would it be marketed? How are we going to make money off this? What are the risks? And assessing it that way, which you never get in the engineering spectrum, I guess I would say. So like, we're more focused on just the design aspect and how is this going to work, and is that what the people want? But in all reality, there's a lot more factors that go into it. And so in the real world, you need to consider all these things in your design phase. And so I feel like this not only will help me in real world, but also as an engineer, understanding the business aspect of it.
The Kohler Center provides a series of 4 workshops on business development topics. Each team is introduced to a mentor, many from the Golden Angels Network or our graduate entrepreneurship program. The mentor helps coach the team as they develop their business plan. We don't really cut anyone right until the end of the program so that everyone gets the benefit of the experience. At the final event, every team that has entered presents a poster session about their business and gets the opportunity to present it. The 8 finalists make live presentations.
I guess at first I really didn't know what to expect coming into the business plan competition. I'd never done anything like this before, and I really had no idea what I was getting myself into. But each of the teams was paired with an advisor, and we were paired with Eric Resch out at Stone Creek Coffee. And I'd say the best part of the plan competition for me was being able to sit down with Eric and walk through some of the basics of these business models and working out how our product could best work in his market. So having that input, being able to bounce ideas off of him and have that mentorship really was, absolutely critical for our success in the plan competition.
I'm in from Las Vegas, and one of the things, I have a business, and I've been in business since 2005, and one of the reasons that I actually participated in the program was because of the mentor-mentee relationship. Mary could not have been a better match for us. The insight that she gave us in terms of helping us tweak our plans, areas that we found that may be questionable. She was that outside person, but yet inside she knew from our meetings exactly the direction that we were going to take in our plan. So she gave a lot of valuable insight. She was thinking like a business person, and so because we were so emotionally attached to the actual plan, she would have us think outside the box and say, this is what you need to do in reference to making your plan what the judges would look for.
Over the years, we've had entrants go on to form new ventures. One has become a public company. Another is about to be funded by venture investors. Many more have started and grown successfully. Others have returned to coach new entrants, participate in classes, and give back in lots of different ways. Past keynote speakers have included Mike Cudahy, who needs no introduction here, John Fisher, founder of Barossa, now a part of Oracle, and this year, Greg Gianforte, founder of Right Now, a public company in the software business. Greg came from Bozeman, Montana to talk about the virtues of bootstrapping. Here's a short excerpt from that talk.
There's few things I like more than hanging out with entrepreneurs and talking about businesses. Contrary to what the media is reporting, I'm really happy to tell you that capitalism is alive and well. And as we grow out of this slump, it's going to be you all in this room that's going to make it happen. This is where value gets created. And what Tim asked me to do tonight is talk a little bit about bootstrapping, a little bit about my story, what I've experienced, but what I want to talk to you about is what I really think is the new American dream, which is starting and running your own business. So the last thing I would just want to leave you with is a thought about your purpose, and kind of one of the things that was probably one of the most depressing things I've heard in many, many years is there was a survey that came out. They asked like elementary school kids, late elementary, what they wanted to be when they grow up. And when I was growing up, it used to be, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a policeman. You know what the answer is today? People say, I want to be rich. And that's a very sad thing. because greed is not a virtue, you know. And one of the things I've learned, the reason I keep doing these businesses is because I tried retirement and it didn't work out at all. You know, I couldn't do it. I have 4 kids that are still at home when I started this business, and I also realized that even though we're in this beautiful place in Montana, at the end of the day, everyone in this room is going to be held accountable for how they use the skills that they were given, right? And what I found was, although I love to fish, I didn't want a tombstone that said he caught a lot of fish. That there's something bigger to life than just making a bunch of money and doing these things. So all I'd say is, as you think about your venture, think about what is your higher purpose in all of this.
We podcast all these talks as well, and you can find them on iTunes too. So if you'd like to hear all of Greg's bootstrapping talk, search in the iTunes store for Marquette University Kohler Center. Another example of programs intended to start and grow connections is our Masters Forum and Visiting Entrepreneurs series. These presentation programs showcase successful entrepreneurs in both large group and small group settings and allow plenty of time for exchange of ideas. You'll find many of them on iTunes too. Yet another is the growth of entrepreneurial approaches, courses, and programs in the College of Engineering that sprang from the involvement of engineering faculty in the cross-campus task force. You know, on another topic, we believe that social entrepreneurship should be at the center of our activities, and so we're planning for ways to bring together real funding sources for social entrepreneurs in imaginative new ways. While this is inevitably a long road, we hope to be able to make real progress toward giving our students a unique experience in building social ventures. So many of them come to Marquette with this mindset that it's important for us to consolidate this interest and try in a small way to make their enthusiasm more actionable. We already have a rich tradition of work-study projects, including both the medical and business brigade programs in Central and South America. These student groups study with faculty and then work on real hands-on projects to create new opportunities for the communities they visit. Our plan is to extend the number and type of activities and opportunities for both study and application in social entrepreneurship. There's a new honors symposium called How to Change the World, focusing on the work of social entrepreneurs and their outsized impact. It'll be offered for the first time this coming fall. The Angel Network is a very important part of all these programs. We have 2 main groups, one in Milwaukee and one in Chicago. These 60 or so angels, some alumni and some friends of Marquette, are an important resource for us. They include a lot of entrepreneurs, many of them serial entrepreneurs, as well as professionals in a wide variety of areas. They sponsor the business plan competition and provide judges and mentors. They're coaches for faculty entrepreneurs, and several have become directly involved in companies the network has helped to start. This has included both EM Systems and Promentis, just to name 2 examples.
The company, EM System. The big idea, it's a true lifesaver. Every day, ambulances rush sick or injured patients to hospitals, only to be turned away because the hospital is full. Enter EM System. This company operates a website that gives real-time information on hospital vacancies, so ambulances can be rerouted to alternates before it's too late. What's next? EM System is rapidly expanding. It's being used by 34% of hospitals across the country.
Okay, please welcome to the show Dr. Chris Felton, president of EM System. Welcome, sir. Congratulations. Great business idea. In hindsight, the best ones are always, duh, how is this not out there? I want to understand the mating process. How did you find the Golden Angels, and where were you at? Exactly what stage of the business were you when you got together with these guys?
We were introduced by one of the Angel members, Tim and I, to each other. And our idea had already been incubated and actually was grown through Infinity Healthcare, my parent physician organization, over a couple of years. So we were actually had a product developed and we were starting to move when we first met.
So why would you at that point, if you had kind of an interested parent, Infinity, why the need for Angel? I would think Angel, and it's interesting, the last group we brought on, the idea was a little further along. Why Angels versus not VCs at that point, or going further with your initial parent investor?
Well, our parent investor Infinity Healthcare, great group of guys, physicians, excellent work at what we do, but not real experts at growing a new IT company. So we really needed a little bit of money, but more so we needed talent. We needed business talent to grow, and so we needed to look outside. And we were not large enough to really be on the radar for VC, so we looked to angels.
So you go into this room, 20 of these guys. I was starting with the professor here. He's kind of scary as it is, but so you're in there, and what's the pitch? Give me the pitch.
Well, the pitch is basically, we've got this idea. We're up in Milwaukee. We have an internet-based system that allows hospitals and ambulance providers to log in securely and find out where they can take patients when there's emergency department overcrowding. The thing is up and running. We want to really take it to the next level and have it explode, and we need some outside business expertise to do that.
So you didn't just want the cash, you wanted the expertise of these 75 guys. Obviously a lot of brains in that group.
Absolutely.
How does somebody looking for angel money, whether it's that first 50,000 or 100,000, or as you were further along, that $750,000, yeah, obviously one of the reasons you're doing it is the VCs are not interested and you don't want the VCs owning your lungs. How do you know you're not getting people too involved where you're going to lose your independence?
We knew right up front exactly what we needed. We needed the talent to come on board. We needed an ownership structure that was fair to Infinity, fair to the founders, fair to the new group. So we knew what we wanted, and we wouldn't have closed the deal if the management talent hadn't been part of it. And it was, and the angels really delivered not only on the cash, but more so on the management expertise.
They're classroom speakers and sources of internships and practical experiences for students.
As I went through evaluating the businesses, the plans, and formats that we researched to take to the next level, there were regular times where, in working with my colleagues, we would think about what we want to do post-graduation with our careers, long-term entrepreneurship, etc. And just realizing that there's such a value that this is what you want to do, this is what you want to take forth.
We also had, for a while, about on a monthly basis, there were a bunch of Marquette students and I met with Tim on a couple of different business ideas we were all evaluating on his behalf and talked about them amongst each other so that each person could kind of present what he thought about the business idea and kind of take some questions from the rest of the group as to how viable it was or what kind of progress was being made.
We view them as a critical part of our community outreach program. Through them, we're able to provide a variety of resources to entrepreneurs in the broader community. In addition, of course, they invest in some of the companies that they meet. Their process includes a review committee that meets about twice a month and looks at several hundred opportunities every year. In the course of these reviews, they do a lot of coaching and give quite a bit of feedback. As one example, they're currently talking to entrepreneurs about how to use the principles and ideas of bootstrapping to make their companies more valuable to investors sooner. It's their hope that this kind of coaching helps every entrepreneur they meet. Over and over again, we've seen these entrepreneurs become important resources to students in the classroom and outside. One of our students recently started a business around supplying coffee shops with, well, sort of with an iPass coffee mug. The network helped him meet executives at a local coffee chain where he is testing, and now introduced him to the senior leadership at Starbucks in Seattle. The task force envisioned classes that include entrepreneurial viewpoints in a wide range of disciplines taught in the various colleges. This has become the basis of both the undergraduate and graduate certificate programs now underway. In our new graduate certificate program, for example, there's a base of 3 courses in entrepreneurship: formation, growth, and entrepreneurial finance. In addition, for their additional 2 courses, students can elect to take real estate finance, engineering innovation and technology, new product portfolio management, biomedical technology, and medical device product development, with more electives in process. To summarize, our current programs include academic entrepreneurship programs, an undergraduate major, a graduate certificate, MBA entrepreneurship electives, and new classes in social entrepreneurship. Many of these are cross-disciplinary and cross-campus. Support programs for faculty to both develop entrepreneurial class materials within their own disciplines and to encourage, promote, and support faculty entrepreneurship efforts in many fields, including but not limited to science and engineering. Opportunities for entrepreneurs to interact with faculty and students through a variety of speaking and mentoring programs and an active student entrepreneurs organization. Robust opportunities for students to connect to entrepreneurs who share similar interests. A strong and growing business plan competition to strengthen the ability of students and faculty to apply principles of innovation to their own interests and gain significant assistance in growing these new ventures. So what have we learned along the way? How we teach is what we teach. To grow student interest in entrepreneurship, our own approaches must be entrepreneurial, including bootstrapping growth and innovating around new concepts. Most people will be eager to help if they're asked. Over and over again, we've been able to provide resources and connections well beyond our grasp, and our students have benefited. It's never finished. New opportunities present themselves every day. Ecosystems are chaotic but effective tools to take these opportunities and stress test them quickly and inexpensively. The good ones grow on their own, and the rest don't clutter things up. Thanks for listening. I hope this has been a helpful summary.